January 3rd, 2026, 1:01 a.m. Delta Force breaches a fortified compound in Caracas, Venezuela. Their target? Nicolás Maduro, the dictator who's ruled Venezuela for over a decade. Within minutes, he's in handcuffs, blindfolded, heading to a US Navy warship. This isn't a movie. This happened 3 days ago. 150 aircraft, B-1 bombers, F-22 Raptors, one phone call from Trump, and the most audacious military raid since bin Laden. Stay till the end to see the photo Trump posted of Maduro in custody that shocked the entire world. To understand this operation, we need to go back 6 months. Venezuela is drowning. The economy has collapsed. Over 8 million people have fled. But it's worse than that. Maduro's narco regime is flooding American streets with cocaine and fentanyl, killing tens of thousands annually. Then in July 2024, Maduro brazenly steals the presidential election from Edmundo González. The results are clear. González wins, but Maduro refuses to accept it. He won't even release the vote counts. It's election theft witnessed by the entire world. President Trump has had enough. Sanctions aren't working. Naval blockades aren't working. So in August, Trump authorizes the CIA to infiltrate Venezuela. Not regular officers, paramilitary operatives. Their mission is singular. Track Maduro's every move, where he sleeps, his routes, his routines, his security protocols, even his family and pets. Build a complete intelligence picture. For months, these CIA operatives work in the shadows. They recruit human sources. They likely bribe officials close to Maduro, turning members of his own security team into American assets. Every detail flows back to Langley. They build 3-dimensional models of his compound. Meanwhile, at a classified facility somewhere in America, they construct a full-scale replica of Maduro's residence. Delta Force begins rehearsing. The 161st Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the legendary Night Stalkers, FBI hostage rescue team. They practice the breach, the entry, the extraction, over and over until it's instinctive. 1 week before the raid, something extraordinary happens. Trump picks up the phone and calls Maduro directly. Think about that. The President of the United States calling a dictator he's about to overthrow. It's psychological warfare at the highest level. You got to surrender, Trump tells him. At this point, a full US naval armada is floating off Venezuela's coast, aircraft carriers, destroyers, submarines. Maduro can see the satellite photos. He knows the Americans are there. Trump later says Maduro came close to giving in. Really close. You can imagine the scene. Maduro surrounded by advisors, weighing his options. Exile and live, or stay and risk everything. He makes his choice. He refuses. He stays. It's the worst decision of his life. Friday night, January 3rd, 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time. Trump is at Mar-a-Lago in a secure communications room, watching live feeds from multiple aircraft. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is beside him, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Dan Kane, the entire national security apparatus watching as history unfolds in real time. Multiple screens show feeds from drones, satellites, aircraft sensors. They can see everything. Trump gives the final order. One word: execute. From 20 different launch sites across the region, 150 aircraft lift off into the night. This is the largest concentrated US military operation in Latin America in decades. B-1 Lancer heavy bombers carrying 75,000 pounds of precision munitions each. F-22 Raptor stealth fighters invisible to radar. F-35 Lightning II 5th generation fighters. A-18 Super Hornets from aircraft carriers. EA-18 Growler electronic warfare jets ready to jam every system in Venezuela. Armed MQ-9 Reaper drones, and the assault helicopters MH-60 Blackhawks and MH-6 Littlebirds carrying the strike team that will grab Maduro. The plan is a symphony of violence across multiple domains. First, US Cyber Command launches a massive cyber attack. Suddenly, Caracas goes dark. The capital city loses power. Communications networks fail. Internet goes down. Citizens think it's just another infrastructure failure, but it's an attack, carefully timed. Chairman Kane later confirms the US used its certain expertise to black out the city. The darkness creates confusion and prevents coordination. Next, the air component begins destroying Venezuela's air defenses. Fighter jets strike anti-aircraft sites around Caracas. Precision-guided munitions take out radar installations. Surface-to-air missile batteries are obliterated before they can fire a shot. EA-18 Growlers jam the remaining radar systems. Within minutes, Venezuela's ability to defend its airspace is crippled. Their Russian-supplied systems are overwhelmed by American technology they were never designed to counter. Then comes the most dangerous phase. The assault helicopters race toward the Venezuelan coast, flying at just 100 feet above the Caribbean Sea. The pilots use night vision goggles, navigating in darkness. It's nearly a full moon, far from ideal, but they've maintained total surprise. They stay low, hiding in radar clutter. As they approach the coast, they use mountains for cover, following valleys that mask them from detection. The Night Stalkers have done this 1,000 times. 3:29 a.m. local time. The helicopters cross into Venezuelan airspace. Fighter jets and armed drones provide overhead coverage, ready to engage any threat. The city below is still dark, still chaotic from the cyber attack. Venezuelan commanders are trying to understand what's happening, but their communications are jammed. 3:45 a.m. They reach Fortuna, a massive military complex in Caracas. Intelligence indicates Maduro is in a heavily fortified residence within the base. Trump later describes it as a military fortress. Reinforced walls, multiple security layers, armed guards, a safe room designed to withstand assault. Fighter jets and drones overhead begin engaging Venezuelan ground forces. Machine gun positions are struck. Armoured vehicles are destroyed. Any unit trying to organise defence is hit with precision fires. One assault helicopter takes ground fire. Rounds pierce the fuselage. The aircraft shudders but remains flyable. The pilots maintain control. 1:01 a.m. Eastern Time. Delta Force operators fast rope from helicopters, sliding down and hitting the ground in seconds. FBI agents are with them because Maduro faces federal charges. When captured, he needs legal detention, not just military capture. Venezuelan security forces open fire. The shooting is intense but brief. The Americans return fire with overwhelming force. Night vision gives them a decisive advantage. Venezuelan guards fire at shadows while Delta operators have clear thermal images of every target. Within minutes, resistance is neutralized. Some guards are killed, others flee. The assault force breaches compound walls using explosive charges, blowing holes through reinforced concrete. Then they're inside. Steel doors. Surveillance cameras useless in the power outage. The operators move room to room, clearing each space. They know the layout because they've rehearsed this hundreds of times on the replica. Maduro tries to reach his safe room. It's a reinforced panic room designed exactly for this scenario, but he doesn't make it. Kane later says Maduro was bum-rushed so fast he couldn't get there. Delta Force operators, moving with what Kane describes as speed, precision and discipline, reach him first. Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, are found together, completely surprised. Despite months of tension, despite Trump's call, they didn't believe it would happen. Within moments, both are on the ground, flex-cuffed with hands behind their backs, blindfolded. They surrender without serious resistance. No dramatic shootout, no last stand, just shock and surrender. The extraction begins immediately. Time is critical. Venezuelan military units across Caracas are scrambling to respond. The assault force loads Maduro and his wife onto helicopters. The rotors are spinning, ready for immediate takeoff. Fighter jets and drones continue suppressive fire. Multiple engagements occur as Venezuelan forces desperately try to stop the extraction. Anti-aircraft fire lights up the night sky. Shoulder-fired missiles are launched but defeated by defensive systems. The Night Stalkers fly low and fast, using every countermeasure, racing back toward the coast. By dawn, as the sun rises over Caracas, Nicolas Maduro is on the USS Iwo Jima, a US Navy ship in international waters. He's in a grey tracksuit, handcuffed, blindfolded, surrounded by Marines. Trump later posts a photo of this exact moment on Truth Social. The image shocks the world. a fallen dictator in American custody. The entire operation, from crossing into Venezuelan airspace to extraction, takes less than 2 hours. 2 hours to overthrow a government and capture a head of state. Saturday morning, Trump holds a press conference at Mar-a-Lago flanked by his entire national security team. "We got him," he announces, satisfaction obvious. He confirms some US personnel were injured, but crucially, no American deaths. Venezuelan casualties are unknown, but multiple deaths reported. By Saturday evening, a US aircraft lands in New York carrying Maduro. He's transported to DEA headquarters in Manhattan. Attorney General Pam Bondi announces he faces charges for narco-terrorism and drug trafficking. They will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil in American courts, she states. But Trump goes further. "We're going to run Venezuela," he declares. "This is regime change, stated explicitly with no diplomatic sugarcoating." Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez appears on TV demanding Maduro's release, calling him the rightful leader. But her power is gone. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado celebrates jubilantly. "The hour of freedom has arrived," she declares. So how did they pull off the most audacious military operation in decades? 5 key factors. Intelligence. The CIA spent months building a complete picture with human sources providing real-time information. Planning and rehearsal. Delta Force trained on an exact replica until every movement was muscle memory. Overwhelming force. 150 aircraft crushed any resistance immediately. Multi-domain warfare, cyber attacks, electronic jamming, airstrikes and ground assault synchronized perfectly, and speed with surprise. They moved so fast Maduro couldn't reach his safe room and Venezuelan forces couldn't organize defense. 3 days ago, this seemed impossible. A sitting head of state captured on his own soil by foreign special forces and brought to America for trial. Unprecedented in the modern era. Critics call it an invasion violating international law. The European Union expresses concern. Russia condemns it harshly, but supporters say it removed a narco-dictator who destroyed his country and flooded America with drugs that kill thousands. Nicolas Maduro now sits in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the same jail that's held terrorists and mobsters. He's awaiting trial on charges carrying potential life sentences. His regime has collapsed. The Venezuelan military leadership is in chaos, and the world has witnessed American military power projected without apology. This is Operation Absolute Resolve. The operation that happened 3 days ago. The raid that changed everything, and it's only the beginning of what happens next in Venezuela.